deplatformed off of Steam. Not actively, so to say, more passively than anything else, because it's one of the only places, it's one of the only platforms where the customer still has a voice and that voice can be heard. We just don't see that in a lot of other places. And I don't think a lot of people have picked up on this, but not only has Steam been getting...
I like Steam at the minute because any bad game that I play, I refund it and I instantly get the money back. As soon as that stops happening, I'm going to become a Steam hater.
...being more popular, they've been on a warpath. They've been setting up rules and regulations.
This guy sucks. Why does he suck? What's the issue?
For all of these other publishers to follow, and if they don't fall in line, well, then they're not going to be on Steam, and these guys want to be on Steam. And I realize that a lot of people are going to push back and say that's a lot of power for one company to have, and you're absolutely right in that. But from my perspective, they've also become our de facto legislators in an industry that is wildly underregulated. They are putting consumer protections in place in an industry where those consumer protections don't exist. And why are they doing it? Well, it's because they value their audience. We've had plenty of conversations.
It's actually crazy how Steam has no competition, right? Like, what's their biggest competition, bro? Epic Games? I laugh. GOG? I laugh. Like there's actually no competition.
It's about...
I think Valve as well has like one of the I'm not going to say it's the company, but it's got to be in like the top 5 of companies that they have the fewest amount of employees that are paid the most per person.
An industry.
Because they just hire like the best of the best. It's like basically impossible to get a job with Steam.
At war with its own audience. Well, this is the last bastion of that industry where...
Thank you, the 5, Rowan. Love your work. How do you go about getting into older games? I know Stalker and Bioshock. I just look around. I don't know. I don't really enjoy like newer games that much, to be fair. So I like to... I feel like me playing older games, it's almost like a little bit of like childhood nostalgia as well. It's like, oh, I loved this game when I was 12. How does it like way up now?
They still care about us. So from hitting 40 million concurrent players on Steam and exposing Activision Blizzard to beating Amazon and not even knowing it, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the continued success of Steam and how they're drawing battle lines nobody wants to cross.
The Rugrats video. Oh my god, bro. I remember playing the Rugrats on the PS1. There's this level where you're walking around and it is terrifying. Okay. I've shown this on stream before, but genuinely, hang on. I played this when I was like 9. This was terrifying. I could not finish this game as a kid. It always made me cry. I was like less than 10. He gets like put to bed. And then he has to like go and explore the house at night. Someone said old head. You probably grew up on the PS4, mate. Shut up.
We'll let it out.
You're going to say the PS4 was nostalgic. But there was this level where like you had to walk around. And you had a flashlight to kill ghosts. Now, don't laugh. Don't laugh. I've hyped this up a lot. I know I've hyped it up a lot. Don't laugh. But for me, when I was 9 years old, this was terrifying. I couldn't beat it.
Somebody must have moved.
I couldn't beat this as a kid because the monsters were so scary.
Take that.
Okay, look, I get it's a floating PNG. I get it. But at the time, when you're 9 years old and your brain is still forming, you don't get how scary this was. What the fuck is his YouTube channel name? What is his YouTube channel name? Are you for real? He's using that name. Okay. Anyways.
If Steam was ever going to have a competitor, it would have been Amazon, because they have the money, the infrastructure, the Twitch integrations they could do to be able to create something massive, but instead they threw billions at a problem and made nothing. A former Amazon executive admitted as much in a recent article on Windows Central written by Michael Hoagland titled "Amazon Admits Defeat to Steam as Former VP Declares, We were 250 times bigger, but Goliath lost. Just because you're big enough to build something doesn't mean people will use it." Michael writes, in a LinkedIn post, Ethan Evans recalls his loss to Steam when he led the division. "We were at least 250 times bigger, and we tried everything, but ultimately Goliath lost." That's an interesting choice of words when you compare market share. While it's true Amazon by itself is a company that vastly outsizes Steam.
Yeah, Amazon tried to pump so much money into beating Steam, and it's like, we can't do it. We can't do it. It's over.
No other company has ever held a portion of the PC market like Steam has. To me, they've always been Goliath. It's just been other Goliaths coming to battle them with similar tools and identical features, but a simple change of attire. Ethan admits to misunderstanding what it took to take on the giant. At Amazon, we assumed that size and visibility would be enough to attract customers, but we underestimated the power of existing user habit.
What was that game that Amazon had? What was it called? Chat, you know. The MMORPG game that everyone forgot after like 2 weeks because it was really obvious they paid like $5 million to a bunch of streamers to play it. New World, yeah. Yeah. I wonder how that's doing. I mean, I'll be amazed if it's still doing well. Is it this game? Oh my lord. Oh my baby Jesus, it's over. It's over. $8K. There are double the amount of people. Double the amount of people. Just about, not, okay, just under double the amount of people that are playing Payday 2 right now. Crazy.
We never validated our core assumptions before investing heavily in
8K is, I mean, no. 8K is bad for how much money they put into that, though.
solutions. The truth is, gamers already had a solution to their problems, and they weren't going to switch to another platform just because...
Now check Payday 3. Okay, so you want me to just go to a cemetery, sure. Oh, it's gonna be... It's gonna be less than 10,000. It's gonna be more than 1,000. Oh, it's barely over 1K. That's grim. Oh man, that's so sad. That's so sad.
Because a new one was available. When a person is happy, they don't go look elsewhere because something else is available. When a player has a large library of games, achievements, friends, and hours spent on a product platform, what's the reason for them to
Dude, I think that I might be near the Starbreeze offices, actually.
shift? Beep, boop, beep.
I hope they're doing okay.
Boop does not compute. We fail to understand user habits. These suits are complete bots, failing to understand anything about the industry, the games, or the players. Just one time I would hear these guys say something that genuinely reflects the perspective of the players. Just one time I want them to put themselves in the player's shoes. They were so close saying gamers already have a solution. The issue is these suits don't understand the problem being solved is them. Amazon.
Yeah, like these companies need to realize you can't just keep infinitely pumping money into like a company thinking, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working?
Thought that they could brute force their way into the PC gaming space, but they never understood why people use Steam in the first place.
It's brand loyalty. Like, I don't know how Steam does it, man. I've got like a really autistic brand loyalty with them. Like, when a game comes out on Epic, I will literally wait 2 years for it to come out on Steam.
Steam's not just a storefront.
That's good for Payday 3 standards. It hovered around 200 for ages. Was it really that low? I don't remember it ever being that low.
It's a platform.
Yeah, because they brought out that jacket DLC as well.
That's built on trust. Valve isn't some faceless mega corporation chasing quarterly earnings reports. It's a company ran by people who actually understand games. When they make changes, it's almost always in the favor of the developer or the player. They give developers real tools. They don't try to nickel and dime their players.
GOG's good. GOG's good if you're an old man, so if you're like over the age of 20. Like if you're elderly. It's good for like retro games and stuff.
They treat the ecosystem like a living thing, not a cash register.
Fuck Epic China shill. I think they own like 7%. Yeah, Tencent just have their little fingers in like everything, man.
Meanwhile, Amazon thought that they could just throw some money at Twitch streamers, slap together a launcher, and all of a sudden compete with Steam, but they were wrong. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to use Amazon's half-assed gaming service. Even with all of their unlimited money, they still couldn't buy relevance. And that's why Steam is untouchable. It's not about the games, it's about how the platform treats you. And unlike every other company within this industry, Valve doesn't treat its customers like walking ATMs. Amazon failed, Epic failed, Ubisoft failed, every single competitor who has tried to...
Yep, Tim Sweeney, let me just, what? Back in the trash.
Take on Steam has failed, and it's because Valve actually respects their customers. Imagine that, a company that doesn't hate us. You know, I'll be honest with you guys, if it wasn't for me actually reading these headlines, I would...
Epic Games be like, how do we take over Valve? What if we make a game free once a week that came out 4 years ago?
Wouldn't even have known that Amazon even had a storefront. That's how little people were talking about it. That's how little people were interested in anything other than Steam. And Steam's success isn't going to be stopping anytime soon because it's part of a much bigger shift in this industry. PC gaming is growing faster than ever, and the data proves it.
It's actually crazy, though, if you compare PC gaming to mobile gaming, it's just not even comparable. It's like a blip.
As reported by IGN in an article.
I swear it's like India and stuff as well, because they always like get access to smartphones now as well. Like they're getting onto the internet a lot quicker because it's still like a developing country. Like mobile gaming is huge. I don't know the last time I played a mobile game.
Article titled Steam tops 40 million concurrent players for the first time as we all jump to play Monster Hunter Wilds. Vicky Blake reports Steam, the most popular digital game.
Thank you, G, for the 5. Hi, you said once that you played a bit of Marvel Rivals. Who would you say was your favorite character from each class? I really liked the Winter Soldier. Unironically. The Winter Soldier was cracked. He was so good. Like, because his ult as well, if you kill someone with the ult, you get a free ult. Like, if you team it up properly, it's actually the most overpowered ult in the entire game. But then they released a Venom mod, so Venom is my main now.
Game distributor for PC players has once again broke its own concurrent user record, breaching 40 million concurrent players for the first time.
Holy.
Over the weekend, which just so happened to coincide with Monster Hunter Wilds launch on Friday, February 28th, Steam logged 40,270,997
Holy China. China coming in clutch there.
Players, breaking
Holy Asia.
its previous record of 39.9 million players set in February 2025. In fact, according to SteamDB, Steam's concurrent record, seen by some as a way of measuring the success of Valve's digital platform, has been broken almost every single month since May 2020.
It's so genius though, man. Like if you go on like the top played games on Steam, PUBG is always in the top 5, literally just because of China.
24, with the concurrent peak rising from 35.5 million players to 40.2 million.
This is always a problem with game companies, right? Like they always try to break into other nations and they can't. Like I think the Xbox sold like thousands of units in Japan, while the Snoy sold millions of units.
Million in just 6 months. So now let's put all this
brand loyalty is an insane thing.
into perspective. Steam isn't just growing, it's growing faster than ever. While gaming platforms are struggling with engagement loss, live service failures, and subscription fatigue, well, Steam is doing the exact opposite. Every single month, their records keep breaking. Every year, their foothold in the industry gets stronger, and that's because PC games.
Monster Hunter be like, give me 7 seconds to charge up this attack. Oh, the monster's moved. Oh, now he's hibernating. Oh, now he's at full health. Great.
Gaming isn't slowing down.
I'll be honest, guys. I really don't enjoy Monster Hunter. I tried to get into it. I've had so many friends that have tried to get me into it, but it is like the slowest game imaginable.
It's accelerating. Consoles used
like, bro, finish an attack after the monster is like a good kilometer away.
to be the convenient option. Plug it in, press start.
I wish I enjoyed this game. I really wish I did, but
Start and play. But that illusion has started to crack. Next-gen console hardware launched with big promises, but what did the play?
it's not brain rot. It's not brain rot. I just don't want to have to, like, you know, file out a form to do an attack on an enemy.
Players actually get 30 FPS modes, aggressive upscaling, missing features, and all the while, these platforms have done little to improve the customer experience. I mean, we have people that are buying the hardware outright, subscribing to play online using the internet they already own, and they're being filtered.
I know it's just gameplay, background gameplay. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Into a limited ecosystem of games where their reviews mean nothing. They're being...
Yo, thank you, loudest speaker, for the 10 gifted, man. Appreciate it. W's in chat for loudest speak. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
bombarded with ads on their dashboard, and they're locked out of basic features. What exactly are these people playing for? Of course they're going to start going to PC. And then we have streaming culture, because more players aren't just playing games anymore. They're creating content. They're streaming on Twitch, editing clips for YouTube, and engaging with gaming in ways that, well, consoles just simply weren't built for. The Steam Deck has made a huge difference as well. This is one of the smartest things that Valve has ever done, because it's not just a handheld PC, it's a bridge.
Dude, I bought the most expensive Steam Deck that you could buy, like with the bigger memory and the better screen. I left it on one night, it ran out of battery, and now it won't turn on again. Like, I've tried charging it and stuff, it won't even turn on. I think the battery just burnt itself out.
It pulled in console players.
What are you drinking? It's a bottle of vodka.
Who would never touch Steam before, and once they saw what was possible, no paid subscriptions for online, full access to an entire library of games, the ability to tweak and mod things whenever you want to, why would you go back? More games, fewer restrictions. Steam doesn't have the same walled garden nonsense that PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox do.
Damn, you can play Prey. Holy cinema.
Early access thrives
And it's got gyro.
here.
Holy. Oh, I want to use my Steam Deck now. Why did it die on me?
Indie games have...
Dude, I swear I did the same thing with my Switch. I bought it, I used it for like a week, and then I never touched it again. I was like, why? I've got like my Steam Deck's great for traveling. Yeah, it's just a Switch, but games are above 10 FPS.
Modding is alive and well, and Valve isn't strong-arming developers into exclusivity deals and trying to push a storefront that nobody wants. But arguably the biggest catalyst for Steam's recent success is actually the launch of Steam China back in 2021. While initially the adoption rate was pretty slow, we've seen with the launch of Black Myth Wukong and more recently Monster Hunter Wilds just how much of an impact that can have. I myself am welcoming my Chinese brethren into the fold because these guys do not put up with poor optimization. Did you guys know that most of the negative reviews on Monster Hunter Wilds were written in simplified Chinese? Steam now has access to one of the biggest consumer markets in the entire world with a population of 1.4 billion people. That's going to have an effect. The numbers don't lie. PC gaming...
It's actually crazy how big China is. China and India. You just keep forgetting that stuff, man. It's mental.
Isn't just growing, it's...
Because it's just such separate cultures and stuff as well. And China's got that big fat firewall as well.
Pulling in players away from consoles. And Steam is leading the charge. Not because they're trying to force anybody's hand, but because at the end of the day, they don't need to. When given a choice, players choose Steam. And that says everything. And Steam's only going to get bigger, especially because of Steam China, because we've already seen that month after month, we're going to see more and more of these Chinese games release. And we saw the effect of Black Myth Wukong and how many players that brought into the ecosystem. And with some of these Chinese games that are going to be coming out.
All right, it's the wrong word. It was the wrong word.
They're going to get national support, and that's going to act like a bullhorn that's going to bring in more Western players. They're going to be attracted to that game and how popular it is. That's how this thing continues to work. And other than GOG, see, I mentioned GOG, praise me in the comments. I don't see any reason for me to use any other platform that's out there because...
Yeah, GOG is like good for if you actually want to play boomer games. Like I bought Dino Crisis on there recently. That was really good. I played through a bit of that. The controls are awful. But yeah, if you want to play like boomer stuff, GOG is great for that.
None of them are as consumer-friendly and as convenient as Steam is. Sure, I realize that that's monopolistic, but I really like it when a monopoly works for me. And that's exactly what Steam does. Steam works for me. At a glance, I can see everything that I want to about a game. I can see how many people are playing it. I can see what people are saying about it.
Epic is good only for free games. Yeah, I mean, if you make an account, you get a free game. That's pretty much it.
I can see screenshots or the trailers or people streaming it. They have streams right on Steam. I can see what content's included.
I never understood Black Myth Wukong. It's just Monkey God of War. Isn't it more like Monkey Elden Ring?
In the
or Dark Souls?
Version I want to buy. Maybe it's included in a bundle or maybe it's on sale. It'll put up in big, bold, yellow text whether or not it has any type of third-party software like DRM or whatever else it might be. If I don't like it, within 2 hours, I can return it, no questions asked, and you just do not have those things on any other platform. Not a single one of them. It makes no sense to me how any of these companies would try to compete with Steam if they will not compete on their terms. If you are not trying to iterate on the things that make Steam successful, the reason why people go to Steam...
I mean, people actually respect Steam. Well, okay, that's laughable. But they respect it more than, like, other companies. Like Amazon. I've never heard of anyone in my entire life say, oh, Amazon's a great company. They're great. Because it's like you've seen the working conditions for, like, Amazon workers and stuff like that. And that carries over to their brand. It really damages their brand.
Steam in the first place, then why are you even trying? All you're doing is wasting time and money because every single month that you're not doing what they do, well, players are buying more games on Steam, they're becoming more invested on that platform, and it's getting even more popular, and you won't stand a chance. But I think that's the critical issue. It's not that they don't understand why Steam works or why Steam is popular, it's that they hate that it does. Because they hate how user-friendly it is. They hate how much control and how much transparency it has. They had how much...
Isn't Steam average salary like $1 million? Yeah, no, it's really, really high. It's basically more than like... they're paid more per person than most companies in the world.
Control the players have, how much choice the players have. And they really don't like the fact that they have to operate on Steam's terms instead of their own. Steam isn't just a storefront, it's an industry watchdog, and that becomes more obvious every year. Activision Blizzard recently tried to sneak in AI-generated art into Call of Duty without telling anyone, letting players assume that they were paying for...
Also, keep in mind as well, they were doing the exact same thing with the voice acting as well. That was also just all AI, just complete trash.
Real handcrafted content until Steam's latest policy force them to come clean. As of 2025, Steam requires full transparency. If a game contains AI-generated content, it has to be disclosed up front. AI itself isn't necessarily the issue. I don't think that players are necessarily against it, but I think that players are against paying more for less. AI should, in theory, lower costs and improve efficiency, yet somehow publishers are using it to cut corners while still charging premium prices. That's what players hate. Not that AI exists, but that it's being used to shortcut and pump out lazy, overpriced content. And if Steam hadn't stepped in, publishers would have kept pretending like it wasn't happening at all. And this isn't the first time that Valve has forced publishers to play fair. In 2024, EA openly discussed adding in-game...
Imagine EA having any kind of respect. I laugh
advertisements. One of the most profitable ways to be...
The only way EA can actually get cred now is like if another company comes out and they do something 10 times worse than them.
Able to nickel and dime your customers.
Did you see the Severance finale? I actually haven't.
At the expense of their experience, but Steam shut it down immediately. They banned forced advertisements in games just like that. While other companies may see gaming as another passive entertainment platform to monetize.
Yeah, they also, I don't want to glaze Valve. I don't think they're being entirely altruistic. I think they know that they're on top of the ladder financially, so they're allowed to make these choices because they genuinely are just generating so much money. They don't need to make any more. Them banning ads is actually them basically fortifying themselves at the top of the chain to make sure no one else like actually takes their spot.
It's like streaming.
Because, you know, everyone on Reddit's like, oh, based, oh, it's so based. But it's like, they're at the top. There's no more else to climb. So they're just going to like try to look like a good company to basically make you stick with them.
Services. Valve made it clear players should not have to sit through a commercial break to play a game that they paid for. No wonder Sony's been so hesitant to move to Steam. I'm sure they'd love to cash in on that ad patent they've been sitting on. But if that wasn't enough, and this is something we've talked about in a previous video, Valve also cracked down on one of the biggest publisher scams, selling season passes and DLC with no intention on delivering the content on time. For years, developers have been getting away with promising post-launch expansions, collecting money up front, and either delaying their content indefinitely or just canceling it altogether. But Steam changed the rules. Now, if a developer misses their content or their DLC deadline and they don't notify Steam of the delay, Steam will automatically refund players. No waiting, no arguing, just instant refunds. Name another platform that does that. You can't. But what really pisses off these publishers about Steam isn't their policies, it's their transparency. Valve actually gives the players the information they need before making a purchase. And that's a serious threat to an industry that's built on hype, artificial scarcity, and manufactured popularity. Taking current player data, for example, Steam lets players see exactly how many people are playing a game in real time, a feature that Ubisoft reported.
Kingdom Come is still on 70k. That's actually really good. Damn.
Wanted to see them remove, but it's obvious why they would want to have it gone.
Ubisoft wants to hide Steam concurrent player count. What is it? I want to see it. Because I remember this. There was a woman comedian and she basically got ratings disabled on Netflix. Is it Amy Schumer? Her performance was that hated that she got all of Netflix changed. I mean, that's not bad at all, though. What? Why do they want to hide it? That's not bad.
Publishers do not want you to see the actual numbers. They want you listening to journalists to tell you that the game is popular. But on Steam, you don't have to take anyone's word for it. You can go see the numbers yourself. You can go see if a live service game is thriving or barely hanging on. You can decide if it's worth investing your money into.
Yeah, it was Amy Schumer. She got rid of the star rating on Netflix. Like, they kneeled to her solely because of the fact that, like, I don't even know why they did it, man, genuinely. Like, oh, what's she gonna do? Oh, I'll never do a Netflix special again. Oh, guys, Amy Schumer said she won't do another special.
If it's already a ghost town that won't last another 6 months. And that's a problem because...
I'm sorry for yesterday. I was drunk as shit. I don't even remember you typing in chat, dude. It's fun.
As this directly conflicts with their financial goals, these companies have no problem making players spend money before they eventually pull the plug, and they have no issue gaslighting players into believing a game is alive and well when it's not. You know what else directly impacts their sales, or at least should? Reviews. And nothing forces publishers to be more honest than Steam's review system. This isn't just a feature, it's one of the most powerful forces in gaming. A single bad decision can sink your game overnight. When Sony tried to force in PlayStation logins into Helldivers 2, Steam players review bombed the game so hard that Sony backtracked in record time. This wouldn't have happened on...
Also, speaking of Sony, have you guys seen the DLC they released for Days Gone? Hang on. Days Gone, you know the zombie game? It's okay. It's like a solid 7, maybe 8 out of 10. It's, you know, but they released a DLC and it's just trash. Is it free at least? Hang on, let me check if it's free. It might be free. If it's free, fair enough. But all they're doing is adding a DLC where you just get early unlocks. It's like you get the Drifter crossbow early, Nitrous upgrade early, Gas tank, Shroud upgrade, Monkey wrench, and then you get a Horde Assault Survival Arcade mode, which you've already had anyway, and then you get permadeath. That's it. And then you get a speedrun thing. Like, dude, for final DLC, like 3 years after the game came out, that is trash.
On any other platform, but on Steam, negative reviews can actually affect sales, which means developers can't ignore them. And it's not just PC.
It's $10. 10 euros. Oh, it's over.
Players that are checking out these Steam reviews. Console players are relying on them too, because let's be honest, gaming journalism is dead. IGN, Kotaku, GameSpot. These outlets have turned into nothing more than corporate mouthpieces, handing out 9 out of 10 scores to garbage.
It came out in 2018. Oh, I'm old. It's over. Maybe I'm thinking about when it came out on Steam, because I never played it on the Snoy.
Half-baked games dismissing real player concerns and treating criticism like it's toxic.
Hey,
Nobody
Pyro,
trusts them anymore. Players aren't going to waste their time and money based on some paid-for Metacritic score. Instead, they're going to go check out Steam because that's the place where real, unfiltered player opinions actually matter. Steam lets players organize and warn each other, unlike other platforms.
I like how slow this chat is. It's because most of them are playing 6 Siege and they've just got me on in the background. If you're not chatting in this stream, by the way, and you've got me on as background noise, whether you're studying, drawing, or like playing video games, you're a coward. You're an absolute coward. I bet you won't come in this chat and defend yourself, you coward. Now look at this. Look, I've left the bait. Look at chat just explode now. Yep, there we go. There we go. They all come out, all the worms. Every time. Every time.
Platforms that try to suppress discussions that might hurt their sales. Steam allows open,
I'm playing with my girlfriend, and you've got me in the background? Okay.
unmoderated discussions. Take Sweet Baby Detected as an example, a group that tracks a specific game consultancy agency that was involved with writing different games.
I'm reading a book. It's over.
Whether you agree with them or not, players deserve the right to know who is shaping their games and if they want to.
Dude, why is chat so active now, man? Can you people not speak more?
As a matter of fact,
in the chat? Can you not speak more in the chat?
Buy something that they are involved in. The gaming press wanted Steam to shut it down. Developers tried to call for its removal, but Valve, they didn't cave. They didn't censor it. They left it up. Here's the truth. Steam doesn't just compete with these other storefronts. It is regulating the entire industry. Anytime Steam makes a change,
I'm stoned. That's the worst excuse I could ever imagine.
Or ban something entirely, these publishers and developers have to fall in line. Otherwise, they're
Play Ramworld. It's on the list.
not going to have their games on the biggest platform in the world. And with how hard it's been for some of these companies to actually profit off of some of their games, they cannot afford to not be on Steam. That's why Steam is such a threat to modern gaming. It exists in direct opposition to everything that these big publishers have been wanting. It's too.
I mean, I'll be honest. Most of the games that I've made, videos on, it's only because of Steam. Like, I would not have found those games if not for Steam. Thank you, Ladder Speak, for the $20. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for making work entertaining for me. I appreciate it, bro. Hope you're having a good night.
Too user-friendly. It gives players too much control. It's too transparent, and it forces them to play fair. And that's why these companies keep trying so hard to replace it. Epic burned billions trying to make a competitor. Amazon failed before they even got started. Ubisoft, EA, and a bunch of other publishers have abandoned their own PC launchers because nobody wanted them. Every attempt to take Steam down has failed. And why is that? Well, that's because when given a choice, players...
Steam will literally never be taken down unless they make a really stupid choice that makes them greedy to increase profit margins, but they won't do it. They won't do it because they know in the long run, whatever minute profit they get will make them fall from like the top of the pyramid. So it's literally never going to happen.
Players are always going to choose...
Thank you, Alpha Beaver, for the 5.
Freedom over...
My girlfriend said your hair is fried and to stop bleaching it, you'll be bald at 30 if you don't.
Control. And that's why they're...
Yeah, but I like when it's yellow.
Choosing Steam. Valve isn't just another faceless corporation. It still operates like a game developer. It's not run by marketing executives or analysts that don't play games. It's run by people who actually understand video games.
Valve does nothing and wins. No, unironically. That's literally all they have to do.
Make video games. That's why Steam has a clear identity and one that prioritizes the players over the publishers. And that's why every single competitor is going to fail. Amazon, Epic, Xbox, EA, Ubisoft, every single one of these PC platforms was built by people who only put profits first and players second. They don't understand their audience because they aren't their audience. But Steam is different. It was built for the players, and because of that, Valve is the only company that is actually regulating the industry. I, for one, am completely happy that we have Steam on our side, and they are the ones that are laying out the rules right now. Because if they weren't doing it, then nobody would. Because, well, you know, in a lot of cases, there's nobody that's actually trying to fight on our side legislatively. It's governments and whatnot. Half these people are too old to really understand video games to begin with, and they don't really care.
I mean, Gabe Newell isn't young, man. Come on. He's a young buck. He's 62 years old.
And even if they did, well, they just probably have some people that would lobby against it, and then it'd make it worse. So, yeah. But there isn't a single company within this industry that could compete with Steam. And I say that with the utmost confidence, because you have a company that
Gabe will live forever. He probably will, honestly. That's why he lives on that boat, because he's scared of, like, getting diseases and stuff. Apparently, if you need to meet Gabe Newell, you got to, like, self-isolate on a boat for 2 weeks, and then you get to go onto his boat.
Isn't publicly traded, so they're not being influenced by investors or trying to make money for other people. They're just trying to make money for themselves. And on top of that, these guys make more money per employee than Apple and Google. They're making more than enough money that they don't even care. And the only way for them to make more money,
Gabe Island,
at least from their perspective, is just to invite more players in.
I emailed Gabe Newell. I'm still waiting. When did you email, bro? He probably gets about 20,000 emails a day.
And then protect that audience, protect those customers, because that's the way that they stay. If you use them and abuse them.
It's Steam glazing. Yeah, it is. The video's a little bit glazy, but I think Steam are making these decisions to protect themselves in the long run. Because again, if they start making greedy decisions, everyone's going to flip on them. And then the other companies, it's like, do you remember with YouTube, like when YouTube had the yellow demonetization symbol come in and it like screwed everyone over? Then VidMe came in, they were like, oh, wait a minute, we could move in now. Like all these companies, they're just like, they're vultures. They're waiting on the sideline for you to slip up so they could just immediately like, you know, try and take advantage.
Them.
Obviously it didn't work and VidMe got shut down, but you know.
Well, they're going to go leave. They're going to go somewhere else or something like that. That's not what you want. No. That's the reason why when we look at Steam.
How's your Storyfire channel doing? Oh my God, do you remember Storyfire? No way. No way. Oh, it's over. They took down the website. Yeah, they paid me like a ridiculous amount of money for that. For like such a small shill. It was just obvious they just had way too much money and they were like, how do we get people over here?
Steam for the most part has been on autopilot. They don't need to change anything. They don't need to do anything to it. You don't need to add anything other than video games, more games for me to play and buy. That's the reason why these guys are going back to making video games right now. That's the reason why they're going and making a Steam Deck, because they're making ways to invite more.
Was it how many zeros? How many digits? Well, the way that they paid is like, most sponsors will offer you the same amount of money because they all talk to each other and they know, like, you know, they know all the exploits like CPM and all that kind of thing. It's very obvious they're all sponsors. Like 100% ExpressVPN talks to NordVPN. They do. They definitely do. I talked to a agency guy about this once and he got really pissed off at me, being like, well, you're saying that there isn't like a free market. You're saying they're all colluding. That's stupid. It's like, no, they are. Because what will happen is if they don't talk to each other, then one of them will be paying way too much and offering YouTubers way too much money. So that all the sponsors on YouTube that you see, HelloFresh and all that, they definitely all collude and talk to each other. So they all agree on a rate to then offer creators 100%. But Storyfire, I don't think did that at all. So that's why they just offered so much more.
Players into the ecosystem
talk to her
rather than milk the players that are already there. That's how their vision is completely opposite for the rest of the entire industry, because these guys are so focused on trying to squeeze every drop out of whoever they have.
Say that again.
Scaring everybody else away, including the people they're squeezing. That doesn't work out in the long run. Now, while Valve has definitely betrayed us in the past, I'm not going to pretend like they're a perfect company. They are the ones that popularized loot boxes in a lot of ways. From my perspective, they're one of the very few that are still on our side and are still working.
Just such a small thing to mention at the end, even though it was catastrophic for everyone.
For our best interests. They're still working for us. And that's the most important thing. Well, I think a lot of people believe that Steam's going to change one day, and fair enough. All
It's a
companies
bit.
change.
It's a bit. This is a bit IShowSpeed GIF, a little bit.
Things change. It's how the world works more than anything else. You know, this company is so small. They make so much money. Only have 300 employees. They have such a focused philosophy on video games and players and customers and their platform. I don't see that going anywhere.
CS:GO made me spend my allowance as a kid. Yep.
That strong a leadership.
It's exactly what happens. Like, it's just gambling. It's literally gambling.
That doesn't just disappear overnight. That doesn't dispear.
There's a million IShowSpeed GIFs. Which one? Oh, this one, like that one.
When Gabe Newell leaves the company. Yes, I know. We have a 62-year-old man that basically has the health and fairness of the entire video game industry weighing on his shoulders. But he doesn't really take me as the kind of guy that would just walk off and
He
leave
missed the
somebody
pug for the
else to
prime.
burn it down. You're likely going to pick somebody that's going to be a solid successor. So, yeah. Man, these publishers have to hate Steam. They are stomping all over every single dirty little nasty trick they want to pull. And they're not going to get away with any of it. Not unless they want to make money. If you want to make money, you better be on Steam. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for...
Yeah, that was a good video. It's a little bit glazy, but yeah. I don't know, like Steam is good, but then, you know, you've got stuff like the loot boxes and stuff like that as well, where it's just a bit like, are they good? Is it good? I don't know.